Yes then YouTube, we are back with another video on the Woolf of an Aston Villa podcast, brought to you by myself, Connor Woolf. Please drop this video a like, drop a comment down below. I do reply to every single comment and I do love to have a debate with you people. Also, if you can hit the subscribe button to my channel, that would mean the world to me. Also, we are proudly sponsored by Loot Roper, so if you do want to check out Loot Roper's website, link is down in the description below to his website, and you can use the code WOLF20 for 20% off your whole order, including sale items. So today's video, YouTube, let's talk about him. Yes, Felipe Coutinho. Now, I'm going to give my opinion straight off the bat. You can agree or disagree with it, but there is a but. I personally would sell him. I'm going to put that out there straight away. Now, the football romanticist, is that a word? The football romanticist, is that a word? Yeah, but anyway, the football romance in me would love to keep Coutinho at the club. You know, I loved watching him when he was at Liverpool. Also, when he first arrived on loan the season before last now. Oh, man, I loved him. I was there at the Southampton game, the Leeds game, where he was just on a different level. The Man United game, his debut at home, where he just, come on, I tell you. But I have to admit, it has now quickly evaporated. And last season, I didn't realise it was this bad, actually. I'll show you something right now. Felipe Coutinho last season for us only started 7 games in the Premier League. Now, 7 games in 20 appearances with only 1 goal, 0 assists. That's not good. I'm going to put it bluntly, I'm going to put it out there. That is not good. And the reason why I say I would sell him isn't because I don't think he could make an impact, because I think we all know he will make an impact, especially in them early Europa Conference League group games, or if we get through the qualifier, which, touch wood, we should. We know he can make a difference. You know he is a very good option off the bench. He is a wonderful, wonderful player. There's 2 main reasons why. I know that I'm probably going to get a lot of people disagree with me in the comment section for this, but there's 2 main reasons why I would sell him. Number 1, he's probably one of, if not the highest earner at the club. I'd probably say now Youri Tielemans is the highest earner, because when a player comes in on a free, they do typically earn a little bit more than what they would get if we were to buy them for a transfer fee, because obviously we're not paying the transfer fee, right? So I think he will be one of the highest earners at the club. The reported wage for Coutinho is 125,000 of the Great British finest a week, so a hell of a lot of money. Also his age. So when you take into consideration the fact that most of our highest earners, Tielemans, blah blah blah, they'll be starters. Youri Tielemans, I think we can all agree now after the pre-season, he will play 95% of the games, probably even starting 90%. Him, Kamara and Douglas Luiz, they are battling it out every week. Don't be surprised if every week you literally see a different midfield partnership, because Youri Tielemans has surprised me, actually. He is a very good football player. He can play. Jeez Louise. So Youri Tielemans will be a starter, and all of these players that will be in our highest earners, they will be players that Unai Emery will want to be playing every single week without fail, pretty much. And Coutinho, even if Emery wanted him to fall into that bracket, I think Coutinho's body, which is then bringing me on to number 2, the reason why I would sell him is, I don't think Coutinho's body now, unfortunately, is just up to the level of the Premier League. I think you saw it last season. He had a really good first half against Arsenal. I think the week before that, he came on against Man City, didn't he? And he actually had a really good cameo for like the last 20 minutes. So everyone, including myself at the time, then thought, yeah, let's give him the start against Arsenal. Started against Arsenal at home. Scored. And that was probably my favourite goal of last season, actually, in terms of the build-up play from Kamara into Moreno into Buendia doing the dummy into Coutinho, and then the reverse shot as well into the corner. Beautiful. I love that. That is what you want to see from Coutinho, but we then didn't see him for the rest of the season after that. And I know there's a big if, and a lot of people, when they're talking about Coutinho in the videos that I've watched, in people on Twitter and stuff like that, they do always say the same thing is, oh yeah, but if we can get Coutinho fit, you know, he is a really good player. And I agree. I just don't think his body is up to that anymore. I don't think he is going to stay fit for however long. For, I don't know, say we can get Coutinho fit for 30 games next season, this season coming up. Do you want to see hand on heart with how Coutinho was last season in terms of his injuries? And I'm not actually talking about his ability as a football player. I'm talking about his body. Is he robust enough for the Premier League now? You know, week in, week out, Thursday, Sunday. Is his body going to be able to do that? Can you hand on heart say that Coutinho is going to be fit for 30 games this season? You just can't, can you? And for the money that he's on a week, I think Unai Emery and Monchi would much prefer Coutinho to leave and for them to get in an attacker like a Brennan Johnson, a João Felix, a Ferran Torres. These are the type of players that we're looking at. A, you know they're going to be fit every week. B, their wage then actually reflects their importance to the team. And this is where the big thing for me, you need to listen to this, YouTube, okay? I don't think Coutinho's wage now reflects his importance to the team. And when that happens, I think there needs to be a decision to be made, because Coutinho's wage is at 125k a week. I'm actually the same with Luca Dean. I know this isn't a Luca Dean podcast that I'm doing right now, but I'm actually the same with Luca Dean. I would sell Luca Dean if we were to get a good offer and get a younger left back in that's on a lot less money, because Moreno is our number one left back. Right, we all know that. He was amazing when we brought him in last season. So if we were to get a good offer for Luca Dean, which is reported that he's very heavily linked with Saudi, I would take it and go and buy a younger left back. And in the meantime, play with Cash as the attacking outlet on the right-hand side instead. That's what I would do, personally. And it's the same with Coutinho. I don't think Coutinho will get into the team in the Premier League, more importantly. I think, actually, no, that's harsh. I think he could get into the team in the Premier League when, for example, Everton in the second home game. I think there is a definite opportunity for Coutinho to start in that game, right? Everton will sit deep, Sean Dyche, and we need to unlock that defence, right? So there is an opportunity there for Coutinho. Newcastle on Saturday, away from home, there is 0% chance Coutinho is starting that game. Zero. Like, Coutinho, for as good as he is, doesn't have the legs or the physical capabilities to play that 90 minutes, even 60 minutes at that intensity, right? So that then brings me up to the next point. If you were Unai Emery and Monchi, and you see this, understand one club from Qatar, which is interesting, that's not Saudi, that is Qatar. Understand one club from Qatar has now asked for conditions for the Felipe Coutinho deal. Coutinho could leave Aston Villa in case he receives a good proposal. Saudi clubs also approached him in July. So, this is the key thing from here. Coutinho could leave Aston Villa in case he receives a good proposal. I think Aston Villa, Unai Emery and Monchi, if we were to get, say, a 20 million offer for Coutinho, I think they would take that. So regardless of what I think on this podcast, regardless of what you may think, and I'm probably expecting 95% of people to disagree with this, because I know I'm probably in the minority that I would get rid of Coutinho, mainly because of, this is just my personal opinion, YouTube. I like players that are available. So I really think it's like an underrated factor in football. Players like Ollie Watkins, even Tyrone Mings now, at Bournemouth, he was actually really injury prone, but then at Villa, he's been really good for it. Like John McGinn, these players that you know every single week you can rely on them, right? I really, really, really think that's a really understated and underrated ability in football. Coutinho, for as good as he is, you can't rely on him, can you? You can't rely on him. Even I would love, and don't get me wrong, I'm saying on this podcast that I would sell Coutinho. I would freaking love nothing more than Philippe Coutinho to be an important part of our plans this season. For him to prove me wrong, get back to not even his best, because he won't get back to that anymore. Football doesn't work like that. You can't have as many years on the downward spiral as Coutinho has had and then just to go back to his Liverpool days. And he's pushing on a bit. Well, not pushing on a bit, but he's not 23, 24 anymore, right? I would love nothing more for Coutinho to show what he showed against Valencia last night. Like, if any of you watched the pre-season game, our second goal against Valencia, Coutinho picked up the ball. He actually showed a nice bit of burst of pace to get away from the defender when he picked the ball up as well. And he played a really smart... when I was watching it, admittedly on some freaking... The Villa TV stream was awful, right? He picked up a ball and made a wonderful pass into Buendia, then tucked it home nicely into the bottom corner. That is what you want from Coutinho. I would love for Coutinho to do that. The football romanticist, the football romance in me would love nothing more than Coutinho to be that important player for us, for him to show what he can do week in, week out. But I just don't think it's going to happen. And going back to my previous point, I think if Saudi or Qatar, whichever one it is, if they were to offer us 20 million, I think Unai Emery and Monchi would take that. You know, we're selling Aaron Ramsey for 12 to 15 million. I think we will go and buy Brennan Johnson or João Felix or Ferran Torres. I think we will buy one of them three. Well, João Felix would be a loan move, but I'm seriously, the longer this window goes on and I'm seeing the links out of the club like Coutinho, Aaron Ramsey, these are players that are going to fetch money. You know, Dendoncker will leave. Bertrand Traore will probably leave. Don't even be surprised if Leon Bailey goes, by the way. Don't be surprised on that. He had an absolute stinker last night against Valencia, didn't it? But I'm thinking we are going to sign another attacker that Unai Emery wants and fits his style. And, man, like I've said in this video, though, I would love nothing more than Coutinho to prove me wrong. But I just don't think it's going to happen. So, is it going to happen? In my opinion, no. I am fully expecting, though, most Villa fans, they love Coutinho, and myself, even myself included. I didn't mean for this podcast just to sound like I'm berating Coutinho and that. I'm just saying what I would do if I was Emery, and also what I think is going to happen. I do have a little nagging feeling in my mind that Coutinho probably is going to go. I've just got that little nagging feeling. I've had it all summer. I think as soon as the summer hit, I thought we were going to sell Coutinho. So, but admittedly, the longer the window goes on, the more I'm like, well, actually, maybe we are actually going to keep him, right? But I've just got this little nagging feeling Coutinho probably will go. I don't know whether it's the best, but put it like this, if you could offer me right now a chance of Coutinho to be fully fit, I mean 100% match fit next season for 30 games of the season, I would keep him. Because you can see him, we all know how good he was in that first loan spell for us the season before last. That Southampton performance, genuinely, you know, when we won 4-0, that is probably one of the best performances I've ever seen from an Aston Villa player ever. Like Jack Grealish, Benteke. Actually, the Benteke QPR one was very good as well. But that Coutinho performance was ridiculous. What I saw that bloke do that day was astronomical. I would love for him to do that again. I can't see it anymore, YouTube. So let me know in the comment section down below. A, would you keep him? And B, why you would keep him. I probably wouldn't, like I said, but I definitely do understand the opinion of, oh, we can bring him off the bench and stuff like that. But you got to remember, he is taking up a big proportion of our wage bill on 125 grand a week. And when you're Unai Emery, Monchi and the owners, and we have to think about FFP. I know people don't want to talk about it, but we do have to think about it. We don't have the revenue streams of a Man United, blah, blah, blah. So we do have to make smart sales to keep spending the money that we're spending. So is Coutinho really worth it at 125 grand a week when his importance to the team now doesn't reflect that wage? And that's kind of like my point is, say Coutinho was playing most weeks and was fit most weeks, I think there wouldn't even be a discussion, and he was coming on and doing what he did last night against Valencia. I don't even think there'd be a discussion around Coutinho. I think the club would absolutely love to keep him. I just think now with Coutinho, especially at the end of last season, you got to remember he only started 7 league games for us last season. 7. How many of them were at the start as well? Like, I'm just thinking about that. He started Bournemouth away, Everton at home. Like, most of them would have probably been under Gerrard as well, right? So, are the club looking at that and thinking, well, we can't rely on you? Coutinho probably thinks, remember, he did only come to Aston Villa, A, because of the money, and B, Gerrard was the manager at the time. So, is Coutinho... I don't think... Coutinho's not a bad egg. That's one thing you can say. Coutinho will not be... If he wants to move to Saudi and Qatar or whatever, he will not be at the training ground, like, trying to push for a move away, right? That's just not Coutinho. So, the club will have to make a decision if a good offer comes in for him. If a good offer comes in, 20 million though, I think the club would take it. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Coutinho would stay? And would you like him to stay? That is going to be the end of the video, guys. Please, please, please drop this video a like. Drop a comment down below. And hit that subscribe button to my channel. Thank you for watching. Remember, spread the love and positivity. PMA, positive mental attitude. Peace out. One love. Up the Villa.